Greetings and welcome back to SmartWatch Ticks. Bet you can't guess what's inside this box. It's the model H777. Here's some QR codes you might want to scan later. And it's also known as the K7. It's an Ecg PPG fitness tracker band. Now, we haven't seen one of these for a while now. There were a bunch all at once and then they kind of dried up, but they're trickling back. This one from Gearbest. Thank you, Gearbest. I think it's the first one you guys have sent us that does the ECG thing. Anyway, check the show notes down below. See if we got a buying coupon for you, and definitely the link to pick this one up. What it has inside of it, in addition to being IP68 waterproof, that means you definitely can swim with it, do all the fun stuff. Keep it out of hot water, though. Vibration, no sound comes out of it, but it'll notify you of things. Has the find your phone type of a feature when you tether it. And a locking screen, interesting. Bluetooth is supported, of course, and it has notifications for things like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, WeChat, so forth. The OLED small touchscreen display with one button and some electrodes, I guess you could say, some plates that you touch. A 100 milliamp hour battery with 2-hour charging time, and standby is 15 hours, so you can get some good use out of this. Alrighty, let's see what we've got in the box. When we open it up, whoa, lots of things. There's a card that's telling us about how to do the ECG testing properly. If you want accurate data, and we all do, right? You want to do what it says here. And you're going to be touching that button in the front and some electrodes on the back that's going to cross through your heart to get your heart wave, as you'll see later on. Here's a big, thick manual that comes with it. A little quality control card. And then the package that includes the fitness band itself. Yeah, it's well packed. Yeah, I don't want to rip into it. Here we go. Okay. And there's the band, sticky stuff. There's a little plate there and the button and a plate up there, and it looks like it's got some plastic over the front that will peel off. What else have we got? Nothing in there. We got the manual here. And then inside here is the charger. So this is one of those with an external charger, not the kind you can just pull the band off and charge. And this one is an alligator clip. It's going to position itself over where the pins are, which are right here. And you're going to need to clasp that in here like this. Line it up just right. There. And with any luck, you get it in the holes, it will plug into your USB and charge it. Speaking of which, not yet. We're going to look at the manual. I was going to say we're going to charge it up, but we need to get into the manual first. First part's Chinese. Middle part should start in on English. Wow, it's a thick... How can they expect us to read this? Really? I mean... Yeah, you can miniaturize your documents to print them, but it doesn't mean that they're actually going to be readable. I hope you can see this. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the page, give you a chance to look at it on YouTube. Again, if you're on your phone, you might want to, switch to look at your computer or TV. It looks like we can turn the display sideways and look at it that way. That's nice for an optional watch face. Quick look at all of the different screens. It is a black and white unit, and it doesn't look like it's that trans-reflective screen technology, so it will be backlit. So, well, it's definitely going to be bright indoors. Outdoors might be a bit of a challenge, but if you're in the shade and it's high contrast, it most likely will be readable. And here's wow, they put the table of contents in the back. There's the QR codes again. I'm going to bring those up for you to scan to get the Tethering app. Wow, there's still more. Okay. think this is just going through all of the different options when you press the buttons. How could they make such a big manual out of such a tiny little product? Yes, now we're looking at the app, I presume. Only 2 languages, but we have this really thick book. Okay. This is how we eat up almost 6 minutes of the review in just paging through the manual. But it's great because on YouTube you can skip right through this stuff. Just hold and slide that little finger or bar at the bottom and you can skip the manual if you want. But if you are interested in buying this, I highly suggest you take a look at the manuals to give you some deeper information about them. Wow. Wow. All right, here's another whole chart giving us all sorts of information. And that's it. That's the manual. Now we can charge the band up and turn it on. And we'll get the tethering app ready for you as well. We'll be right back. Well, this turns out to be a really impressive band. It's black and white, and it has the typical functions as we go through them. Heart rate can be acquired there. There's your blood pressure reading. That's the last one I did. You have to be kind of quick with it. There's your step count, the hours slept last night, your kilometers walked and calories burned associated with that step count, and an off button which says 1 band. And 1 band is important because that is the name of the app. 1 band. When you download it and you install it, get it all set up, you get into the main screen, which when you pull down will update the information. So let's walk through this and tie it together with the band. This is really where the magic happens. I haven't seen one like this before. If you've got a father, a stepfather, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, anybody in the boomer zone, this is a good time to watch this because I'm very impressed what you can do with respect to heart health in this particular band and app combination. 1 band. Okay, let's take a look. First, we have all these different panels. You can press and hold them and you can rearrange the order if you'd like to. Simple as that. When you tap one of them, it'll go in there. It's going to show you historical information for the day. So our step count is shown here and the hour that we walked those steps. All right. And you can go back and forth by numbers of days or show it in week or month mode as well. That was step count. When I get in here, 60, 80, 100, you see it's running about 70. It popped up there. It's over here. This again is the time frame that it's taking it, at the exact minutes, 4:24, 7:04 in the morning and so forth. And it's just showing you a chart of what's typically normal or high. That's the heart rate data with, again, changing the day, week, month, all of that. And then knowledge talks about this stuff. And this is where this is really a valuable app because it's going through the details of how it does what it does. Going to let you take a moment to read that and show you the range for normal, for adult, slow movement, strenuous movement, and so forth, and what can affect the ECG and reasons for heart rate increase. It's really a well done app. It's a bit Chinese English, but it's pretty good translation. And that's what you get on the Knowledge tab. Under Heart Rate Data, there's the graph, and that's your overall last measurement. So we've got our heart rate and our steps. Now we get down to your blood pressure and your sleep. Let's look at sleep first. Here was last night, deep sleep and light sleep and waking time. Says basically I went to bed, or I went to sleep at 23:14, boom, right into it. Got up at 6:14 in the morning for a total of 7 hours of sleep, broken up this way. We can't really do anything with the chart, it's just there. You have a weekly, so you can start tracking how your sleep looks over time in a weekly fashion or in monthly once you get more data in here. This is a 1 day's worth of data. And the quality of sleep is good. Now, I don't have another tab that tells me knowledge about this, just basically our information on sleep in that tab. And then we get in here into our blood pressure itself. And it's going to give us this notice. It's highly recommended that you rest, okay, for 5 minutes, 2 hours before the test. So I'm going to enter and leave that so I can get the reminders in the future. And when I start this with the band, I'll be able to take a measurement. Now, they recommend before you do that that you do a calibration, which I've done. What I did is I used an arm cuff, put that on, got 3 readings off of that. They were really close together. So I am 125/76. They always have this backwards for some reason in this app. So you have to be careful entering the data that you get it right. Then you can do this whole calibration, and it'll run through this whole chart thing the first time and get a baseline comparison of the chart with the values that you put in from your doctor read or medically certified, however you want to say it, reading. It gives you a good solid baseline. Then you can do the measurement. After you do the measurement, it goes into history. And I'll start here to show you that before I even knew about calibration, I ran it a couple of times and see I got 104/63, 110/66. Then I calibrated it and I got correctly 125/75. We'll do another test for you here shortly. And ultimately you get this chart on statistics related to your blood pressure. And again, daily, weekly, monthly, and you can change the days to see what the overall information is. These are manually taken. It's not an automatic thing for blood pressure like it is for heart rate. So I'm calibrated and we're ready to go. Let's do one. I'll show you what I'm talking about. ECG is using the electrode plates, and PPG is the diode in the back. And it's going to compute the blood pressure with both of those pieces of data. So I'll set this down. I lick my finger. I'm going to get my arm wet. By the way, wearing the band in this spot is really important. You want to be above that little notch in your bone, and you want it pretty solidly tight. And it's good to moisten the area and the tip of your finger. That's me licking. I'm going to hit start. It's going to start a countdown of 4 seconds, and now I'm going to press the button and hold it. And you see the timer counting down, and you should see the chart starting to show up on the screen. There we go. The upper one has all these little sharp peaks. Those are the electrical pulses in the heart. The bottom one is showing you a kind of looks like almost a sine wave. And that's the PPG data. That's what typically we get our heart rate from. But we're combining together here to get blood pressure in a thing called transit time pulse rate or something like wave, TTPW. Anyway, if you go on to Google and you do scholar.google.com and put in the term ECG plus PPG, you get some really good documents that talk all about how this is done. Okay, 121/74 with a heart rate of 68 is what it came back with that particular reading. And that should now be in my history file. And there it is. If I tap on it, look at this. It plays it back automatically. Yeah, the whole minute. Played straight through. I can't do much with it. It's just happening. You can pause it. I don't have a scroll bar to scroll it, but you've got your data, and you've got the heart rate as it's being computed and changing, and it's the playback of the blood pressure charts together. Pretty cool. That works for any of these. Okay, That was this category. So we've covered all of these, which are all your major categories. Now I want to take you to the side tab. By the way, this is send out any of the ones that you check to wherever you want to go. You know, email or Facebook, or why not put it on Facebook, huh? You don't need to bother. They've already got it. When you get this tab, you have your demographics. I've set it up with when I was really young at 18 and when I'm really old at 70, and just to kind of see what some of the differences were in the reports that are coming in. This is the last one I set up. Here's where you go in and you can do the blood pressure again that we just did. Here's that same notice that we got before. And we're back to that same tab that we were on from that master thing. Here, though, this is different now. This is where you're actually doing the ECG strip chart. And you're getting way more than the strip chart. So read this, and we're going to do the test. When I go to next, everything turns sideways. This is a 2-minute test. I'll cut a little bit of this out just so we're not boring you, but I'm going to go ahead and set it down and start it. Lick my finger again, just so it's a little moist. Hit the start, tap the button. Watch to see if it's going to go. Yep, it's collecting. If it's not properly wet and properly on your arm, it's going to bail out and you're not going to get a reading. And just to show you that this is live and real, I'm going to wiggle it around a little bit and see the perturbation there that's coming through. So you're really getting a live ECG chart. All right, I'll be back in about 1.5 minutes. Okay, we're about wrapped up. Just a few more seconds to go. It's been a straight chart just like this all the way through for the last 1.5 minutes. And we're done. Now, this is where you learn a lot more about Mr. Tix than either of us wants you to know. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get my analysis. This is an ECG analysis now that will let you know about your conditions in all of these 6 different abnormal reports. We're all abnormal. Just face it. You ready for my report? Boom! There you go. I got 66 on my blood pulse, on my pulse rate. And I've got this Hrv Analysis Report. It gives you categories and it gives you numbers, and below it gives you a synopsis. Your current physical condition is bad. Yeah, please consider these things. Because your sympathetic, parasympathetic nerves are in balance, nervous system is functioning well. That's good news. So each of these are little sentences related to these overall categories. And you could get a good feel for how you're doing overall. And that can be gold for somebody that's elderly, that's dealing with all sorts of medical conditions. It can be phenomenal for somebody that's relatively young, raising a family, looking ahead to when they're going to be old and need to really worry about this stuff. Heck, it can even be useful for a millennial, whether you've had too much beer at the bar, right? Let's go deeper. We go into each of these things, and it gives you a report synopsis of what it means. This is mental stress, what it's caused by, and it gives you, as you go deeper, all of the levels. It's an index of 0 to 100. Where did you fall? I can confirm or cancel that. I fell at 23, so relatively low mental stress. My fatigue index now looks like this. Okay. Confirm that. I'm at 88, so relatively high level of fatigue. Physical and mental load. That's another factor that it's able to derive from your heart wave. Low. Okay, normal. high, and then very high. If you're over 75, I'm at 84. Yeah. I got some work to do. Physical fitness. Look at that. If less than 20, you're very poor in your physical. In the mid-range is 40 to 60. That's pretty broad to be considered normal. And you're in really good if you're 80, 60 to 80, and above 80, you're in excellent physical condition. Well, remember now, I set this up for a 70-year-old guy, and I'm not there yet, but someday I will be, so I better be more physical than I am now. My heart function, thank goodness, is general. These are the categories that you have. And this is odd. Okay, 1.33. I don't know how to understand this sympathetic-parasympathetic balance. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you medical folks, but as I understand it, your sympathetic nervous system is the one you have control over, like me moving my fingers, and parasympathetic is the automatic nervous system that happens in the background, more or less like breathing on its own, your heartbeat. You can kind of control some of that stuff. Anyway, these are the values where your parasympathetic or your sympathetic is leading and the other is lagging, where the balance happens right here in the middle. Consult experts about what that means, because it's not really covered anywhere else here. But that's the report that you get, your ECG overall report related to these different categories. Or this is the heading for it, and then this is the actual detailed report that you get. Okay, ECG analysis. Well, hit the back button here. That was the test. Here is the previous data that I did. Yeah. Now, back here when I was 18, I can do this, report of ECG, if health, or play back the ECG. I think this was the report of ECG, right? Yeah. Here's the report there. Mental stress was really low. Physical fitness was up at 28. The sympathetic-parasympathetic balance was like that. Now, this was yesterday. I was in a different condition, and I had taken all the defaults for gender, age, sex, all height, weight, everything. And I got different results. So, again, this write-up is going to be the same, and it's just going to show you your categories. So under 25 was low mental stress. So that particular reading came out like that. Did another one. That was the first day. Did these two the next day. Report of ECG. And I get these kind of numbers. So they're dynamic. They're changing with time. They're changing with you. This could be awesome to work in a quasi way with biofeedback to see if you can help relax your mental stress and your fatigue, to get in better physical condition and understand your balance between your different nervous systems. All in all, a really awesome overall app with lots of information in your blood pressure, your ECG strip chart report. Here's your heart rate data and the knowledge base. We looked at that already from the other display. Then you get into breath. Not only do you have the measurements that you can take, but you have this method of working in these different processes and approaches to breathing to improve how you breathe and therefore the health of your overall body and physiology. Here's a training record, which I haven't done this before, but you pick a category, I guess, and go into it. Here we go. And it's just going to have you inhale and exhale. Simple as that. Oh, I think I need to be touching the thing in order to do the training as well. And as you're holding it, you're inhaling and exhaling. It's going to take readings and give you information. It's a 2.5 minute training. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hit the retrain. Look at the icon has changed. And now I begin. Oh my gosh, you got to really exhale fast. Okay, let's catch the next one. Wow, I'm going to hyperventilate on this. Hey, I got a good one. All right, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, we're getting there. I'm getting a guy that's blue now. That's me. I'm turning blue, I swear. This is ridiculous. I got to work on my breath. Definitely got to work on my breath. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I'm so done. Stop already. Do I want to see this? Of course. You always got to have a baseline. Whoa. Alrighty. I got 36. Excellent, normal, and cheer on. I guess normal was blue. Excellent's green. That's what's going on. It wasn't that I'm turning blue. It was just normal. Here's some descriptions. And that's it. Your mean heart rate is that, I guess. And I was in elementary, and there's no other pages to look at. But that's breath training, and you have these different categories that eventually you can aspire to explosion. Yes, that's my goal, to explode. It's great to be alive. Okay, what else have we got? That was your breath, and this is all your step information. And again, we saw that from the home page. Your sleep information, we saw that as well. So all of your categories are here. Some of them are there. Now we get to device. This is where you can take control. You have your display mode, which right now is vertical. Hello, I can switch it to horizontal if you'd like to look at your time that way instead. Makes it a little bit bigger, I guess, and spreads things out. But I'm a little bit more comfortable with the vertical. You have time for 12 or 24 hour. The wrist recognition is where you twist your wrist and it'll light up. And you can go into a night mode and set the times that it won't do that. And that's really great because then it doesn't flash at you at night when you're in bed if you just roll over. You can take a photograph using the button on here, the selfie kind of thing. You have different alert times that you can set. They call them resetting alerts. Resting alerts when you need to take a rest. Anyway, they're just regular alarms. Then you have your sedentary reminder long sit thing that you can specify how frequently you want to be reminded to get up and take a stretch break. I need to do that more often. I'm going for 30 minutes. Call remind, SMS remind, your intelligent reminders for all these different things and everything else. Unfortunately, it turns all your notifications on or off, and you can't manually select different ones, which is really a setback because that would be nice, but it's not. Heart rate monitoring, you got your real-time monitoring for those time frames. And you can set heart rate alarm. Now, I decided to go ahead and set it so that every time my heart rate is taken, I get a notification of it every 10 minutes on the band. And it's working really good. I just set my low and high to be 1 digit apart, and I'm always going to be low or high, depending, right? So, but you can set it like 70, 60, 50, whatever you want for low, 120, 130, whatever's right for you. But it's only doing it on the 10-minute, 60-minute, or 30-minute settings. It's not doing it every minute and monitoring you like in a training mode. This is just to tell you if you're chronically high or low. You have auto start management so that you can set the whole thing up. It actually goes into your settings, and you can manage all of that depending on your Android level on your phone, and then you can reset it. The equipment upgrade, check that once and do the update probably, but don't go in it again because it activates it to do the update all over again, and it's really a pain to do the update. It doesn't go smoothly. That's another little pitfall with this. Even though there's a red dot there, once you update it once, don't go in there again, and you'll be all right. And those are the overall settings for that. And then you tap on your thing, SmartWatch ticks, personal information. This is what I've got in here now. Again, you can change all of that, your distance, it's all in metric. And I'll put my real data in later. Wristband measurement, this is the device itself, and this is where you would tether or disconnect it. And that's all it does there. Clear, modify, exit, and about. About tells you the version of one band, which is available from the Google Play Store. And that, folks, is it. You have all of that stuff right here on your wrist. You can go in and you can activate and do your pulse rate right from the wrist if you want to. Same thing for blood pressure and so forth, and monitor your steps. And you can pick it up from Gearbest. Yeah! Like how I just slipped that in there. Check the show notes down below. Honestly, I'm really impressed with this one. Of all the ECG plus PPG devices that we've looked at so far, this has got one of the cleanest and best implementations of the information on the app. And that's kind of the driving thing, is the app for these. So check it out. I think this is a really solid buy. It seems to be reliable and doing measurements accurately and regularly. So they've worked out a lot of the kinks in the earlier models of these. Just make sure you have it pretty snug above your bone right there. And wet your skin surface. If it's not working right, wet your finger when you touch the button, and you're good to go. Yeah. You've been watching SmartWatch Ticks? Yes, you have. If you got a dad, granddad, or anybody else in the senior category, I really recommend you show them this video, give it a thumbs up, pick up this device, or something similar to it, so you can all start really focusing on longevity and health related to heart health. Okay, we'll see you again soon.